Why
बिल्कुल
has the
बहुत
state
बहुत
government
बुरी
failed her? Visibly, the state government, Hemant Soren government failed this girl. They could have done much more. They could
Of
have
course,
flown her. That's what the opposition is demanding, and rightly so here. That
जी
could she have been provided better medical care?
बिल्कुल मिल
If there
सकती
was
थी
no
अगर
proper
अगर अगर इस
hospital in
राज्य में
Ranchi, could she have been, brought to All India Institute of Medical Sciences or to the neighboring state of Bengal? Why weren't right steps being taken here, Nirmal Kaur? And when we look at the investigation, even the investigation has been going slow.
बिल्कुल आप एकदम
Nirmal Kaur.
Gee, the spine-chilling incident, it's really, it tells you to the bones to think what the poor girl had to suffer. Such a young girl, just a kid and a motherless kid at that. She was all alone in her fight against this, very sad kind of mentality prevailing in her neighborhood. And this person wanted to trap her in her and perhaps abuse her, misuse her, or destroy her. And he just destroyed her, sprinkled petrol and lit a matchbox. And she's made a dying declaration. Dying declaration is a very, very important piece of evidence. Under the Evidence Act, it's perhaps the most important piece of evidence which is admissible straight away. It doesn't require any cross-examination, and it doesn't. I mean, like it is given the highest respect. And the poor girl has died, and the statement she has made, I'm sure it will get her, this perpetrator of the crime, convicted very, very quickly, because the CM has promised fast-track kind of court for
But
this
Nirmal Kaur,
trial of this case.
why does it take the state government to promise this fast track of the entire case or the SIT investigation only after there is an outrage in the media?
See, it is the question eventually is over girls' safety. How safe are our women and girls in our society? There are various factors at play here. One is, of course, inherently women are perceived as weak, and they are vulnerable. They are very vulnerable. This girl was young and she didn't have a mother. She was struggling to study. She was taking tuitions and she was earning her own money. Not very well off family. And on top of it, this boy who harasses her, stalks her. And ek aur baat, one more thing we have to keep in mind is that there are organizations which are preparing these boys, especially the slightly better looking boys. They finance them to trap girls, to romance girls, and to marry them, perhaps to convert them. And eventually these girls end up being sex slaves, or they end up being domestic slaves. In London also, I have come across such cases where girls are being taken away to some, very retrograde kind of countries. And at that point in London, when I made this study, about 600 Punjabi Sikh girls were taken away by this kind of a method. This is the modus operandi.
सरयू राय जी,
You trap a girl, you marry her.
सरयू राय जी, सवाल ये भी उठता है कि इस पर जो भी एक्शन हो रहा है, आउटरीच के बाद क्यों हो रहा है? जब तक मीडिया कोई केस हाईलाइट नहीं करती है, उससे पहले सारे नेता बोलते हैं कि एक्शन होगा. एक वो ऑपोजिशन सरकार से सवाल पूछती है, सरकार बोलती है कि इस पे पॉलिटिक्स नहीं करिए, और ये सब केस में साफ तौर पे ये दिखता है कि this is a case in which it's a reflection on our society, but also the failure of the government. The family did not have faith in the local police to go and complain when she talked about this boy, said that he is constantly harassing her, forcing her into, becoming her friend, or whatever you may say. This was a case of constant harassment.
Yeah, you are right. Whatever you said is right. What is happening that in the state like Jharkhand, law and order are becoming casualty. It is violated with impunity. And the lawbreakers do not have any fear in their mind. This is because the police and the bureaucracy, they prefer to abide by the dictate of someone who is high up in the government. And the common person who is going to lodge a complaint, he is not taken seriously. So there are a number of cases when brazenly rules, regulations are violated. We face it daily, and dictates of someone who is powerful in the corridor of power, their voice is being heard. So this is a failure of a system, and systematically the person who are to enforce the law, they are violating the laws. They are not caring about the provisions of the law. This is the situation, and I have cited so many examples with the government and also with the press that this state has become itself has become a victim of the gang of criminal-minded, even the officers, and the common person, who is seeking law under the umbrella of the system. They are being victimized. Daily they are being victimized. So the problem with this girl is that she refused to go before the dictates of a criminal-minded person. And he, in turn, tried to burn her in her own room.